Hi everyone, my name is Wanjiku Ndiang'ui, and today I'm having a conversation with Wangui Mwangi. And the conversation today is going to sound a bit difficult, but on an honest opinion, it's actually simplified by my guest. So I would love her to introduce extensively what she does, who she is as a person, and what really biophilia is. Hi Wangui.
Hi Wanjiku, I
Yes.
am well, I feel amazing. So my name is Wangui Mwangi, I'm the founder of Green Biophilic, and I am also the organizer of the inaugural Biophilia Conference and Expo in Africa. With my amazing team, we have created and curated something beautiful, never seen before, and it's gonna be amazing. It's been amazing for the first few hours, and yeah.
How do you feel about the conference?
I'm just, to be honest, I love authenticity. At the beginning, I was very nervous. This is our first event. I didn't know how things would happen. I didn't know if people would show up. I didn't know if people would see the value that I see in this. But my goodness, the hall is full. The vendors are happy.
Yeah.
We've gone around for the tour with the PS. The PS is excited about this. The Principal Secretary, State Department for Public Works, he's really happy about this initiative. He wants us to anchor this under policy. We've been having amazing conversations on materials, on rebirthing the way we think, on thinking differently around how we build, how we see things. This was the dream from the beginning. So it's, oh my God, I'm so happy. It's just half day and I already feel like, yeah, we're on the right track.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I've just picked up on how this is your dream. How did you get to love biophilia? And I know you mentioned a few snippets somewhere, but how did you start and why biophilia? Could have easily picked something else,
Yeah.
but you really thought about biophilia. Why?
I think nature always calls us because we are nature. And growing up where we used to live, it was nested in nature. Actually, I grew up in Ongata Rongai in Nairobi, just the outskirts of Nairobi. And when we moved there back in 1999, it was a forest. We used to go with my dad to the forest. And we had one neighbor, so it was just our house and the neighbor. And the river was just next to us. The way we were listening to the sound of the water here at Safari Park is how we used to feel the river. We used to go to the forest and catch the yellow and black butterflies. And I used to bring the butterflies back to the house and I'd want them to live forever. I really love butterflies. And I've just grown so much around nature. It's part of me. And I'm so privileged to have that because so many people who are born in apartments seem to have a disconnect with nature.
Yeah.
So just growing up like that and then getting detached from it because of moving to urban areas, looking for jobs, looking for work, I think I started feeling the disconnect, but I didn't understand what it was. I just felt sad. You hate what you're doing. You hate going to work. The sound, the pollution. You just don't know what's going on. Until I realized when I started going for walks in this work environment, when I started going for walks and being in nature, I started getting back the same feeling I used to have growing. And because I'm very inquisitive and I love digging into things, I discovered the word for it is biophilia. There's a science for it since the 60s.
Yeah.
And it just explains all this, all these feelings and all this harmonization of everything because I'm very diverse. I love diversity. Nature is very diverse. Look at the amount of plants here. There's so many just behind us. There's no one single thing. There's no one single profession. It's a harmonization, and biophilia harmonizes everything. And that's how I just fell in love with it because I've done beadwork, I've done paintings, I've done interior design, I've done so many things, but all of them are connected through nature. My beadwork thinking changed to how do I design with nature when it comes to beadwork. When it comes to interior design, nature comes in. When it comes to cooking, nature comes in. So nature became the answer for everything. So biophilia became the mantle for everything else. Yeah.
How do you curate this to an African context? Because we did live with nature back in the day. How do we put this under one umbrella in the African context?
That's a really interesting question and something I've struggled with because I'm very Pan-African. And of course, biophilia as a word is not African. But I give credit to the people who've done this research, the people who began biophilia, the science, Eric Fromm, Stephen Kellert, Edward Wilson. I give credit to them, but then I try to find a way of anchoring this message without really making it African. And it was a bit of a struggle because we really struggle in terms of data. We don't seem to have our own data. Yes, we have it, but it's oral. It's not there written down. And that's why I thought to myself, okay, fine, let's use biophilia, the research, let's credit all these people who've done all this research. But then let's remind people that this is actually our way of living. It's just that the word is not ours. But then we have our own words, our Kikuyu words, our Maasai words, our Kalenjin. We do have them. We do have the Kiswahili words for climate change and, but I feel, and this conversation can really pan and go deep when you look at colonization and how language has really, the English language has become very adored. Just the same way we were talking about concrete and all this glass and all these materials that have been made to seem like this is a rich man material. This is a rich man way of doing things. So I think when it comes to bringing it in an African perspective, this was just the launching pad to appreciate the founders, to appreciate all the research done, but then we will think around how to word it because language has power. The more we have words that we resonate with, if we think about changing this to a Kiswahili version, will that be more resonant with other people? That's something to think about. Or our mother tongues, that's something to think about. So it's still a thought process, but to be honest with you, language is everything. Once you put something in language that you're born with, that you relate with, then it's easy for you to connect. It's easy for you to buy in. Yeah.
You put the words towards the content, you get it. Yeah. So now, what's the future for biophilia in an African context at this point? Because now I'm pretty sure you're doing the research, you're doing the documentation, you're doing the storytelling, because I mean, we are living in a world of storytelling. What is the future, especially for Wangui? Not in a what I can do for the entire world, but where you are currently, what are you doing to make that change possible?
Okay, starting with where I am. First of all, this conference, it's an inaugural conference. I have done much as Wangui by just advocating for quite a long time. 5 years, I told you about the bamboo story. It takes 5 years to engrave its roots in the soil, and then in weeks it just keeps shooting in meters and meters. So it's been 5 years of just writing, talking at individual capacity, but now we've done the first inaugural conference, and we'll just be shooting and shooting and shooting. And the future of biophilia is this: nature is cuts across all the different professionals. And when you look at some of our partners here, some are not really in the construction industry. We have Tucan International, who does communication, and they install masts, but the masts that they do, they're very conscious of the animal corridors in the conservancies they place them. They even paint them and design them to reflect nature so that the animals are not harmed as they're passing through. So the future of biophilia is integration into every curricula, into every profession. As Africans, we are storytellers. So the future of biophilia is becoming what our grandmothers were to us. The stories that they told us is what biophilia will bring. I want communities to come together. I want to bring the old people who've been left in the villages, who have the knowledge of building sustainably, who know how to build with mud. I want them to come and feel embraced back into society, into culture. We used to live as one people. Now I live in an apartment. My grandfather lives, I don't know where. I want people to come back together through biophilia. I want Africa to come back together through biophilia. I want the world to come back together through biophilia. Avoid the silo thinking and let us all work together. Architects, doctors, engineers, healers, interior designers, policy makers. let's sit together, let's tell stories, let's build things together that actually harmonize and showcases that, you know what, we are one web. We are not individual silo thinkers.
Yeah, but the other difficult part I know about here in Africa, especially in our country, policies take so long to be enforced. And biophilia is not, I wouldn't say it's a 50-year-old concept that can easily change a policy like this. It has been there. It's just that we don't have the language for it, like you had said. But how do we fasten policies, especially here in Kenya?
I think being a young person and being in a country and a continent full of young people, we don't have to really follow the same old way of doing things. If I was to wait for there to be policy on biophilia to do this conference, this would have never happened.
Correct.
So my take on that is we can leverage on the vibrancy of the youth that we have, the booming technology that we have, TikTok, Twitter, social media. We have so many upcoming events. People want to be outside, sip and paint. People are going to parties, Gondwana, just, DJs in the forest, etc. I want us to use entertainment because Africans, we love fun, we love partying. I want to see how we can have entertainment into this. How do we make nature sexy? I don't know if that is the right word, and fun. I want us to use fun and fun.
Because it's storytelling.
Because it's storytelling and it's our way of life. It's what we enjoy doing. It's what we run away from after staying in the office for like Monday to Friday. So take the fun element of it. Pull more of our youth. They're already there. They're already doing it. They just don't have the language of it. And then once we have more people doing this, it builds up. It builds up. And you cannot stop an ejaculation that's due. So,
I agree.
I
agree. And to finalize, I think one of the biggest quotes I get to carry home from Roberta is that we need to be better ancestors. That phrase in itself is so heavy. I had to be awed and capture it and be like, what is this? It's so true, because you just don't live in a mental state of it's just now. You think about what are you leaving, what footprint are you leaving, and for you, what would be your remarks at this point?
I love glamour. I love the big things in life. But strangely, I love money. But strangely, this biophilia journey has never been about money. It's always been about, guys, you need to know what nature does for you. You need to know what this fun behaves like and looks like. And it's just something that I will wake up when, as I said in my speech, when I'm bored, when I'm happy, when I'm tired, I will just revert to biophilia, whether it's reading a book about it or being in nature. So, to be honest, I feel like this conference, just bringing people together to have these conversations. And I know people are bored of sitting in panels, but let me tell you, this is different. These are conversations you've been having in your head. You've been feeling, I want to bring some element of spirituality and make it African. But people think I'm a witch. How will people look at it? No, we're talking about it, you know. The fact that this has happened, I feel like I have achieved it. But I want this to be bigger. I want this to be in every African country. I want this to be global. I want this to be the future of the next generations. I want it to be in curricula. So, leaving behind a continent that is very aware of the sacredness of nature is enough for me. I will have achieved.
And it's being your lifestyle.
And that being, green biophilic living. Biophilic living being your lifestyle, the way you dress. Today I might not look a bit biophilic, I'm sorry. But the way you dress, the products you put on your skin, the jewelry you're using, everything that you do, if that is harmonized with nature, I mean, then I think we've fulfilled our mission on earth, you know?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
That was Wangui Mwangi, and she is the founder of Green Biophilic Living, and she has amazing things about biophilia, anything surrounding biophilia. I know the term sounds very heavy, but to simplify it, you have to be a nature of love. You have to be a lover of nature for you to understand that term. It's as simple as that. But everything she has explained, everything she understands about it, nature is a lifestyle. That's all I've gotten today. Thank you so much for being with us today.